guys? This is of course Amanda with Amanda's Lost Thoughts, and it's been about 2 weeks since I've seen y'all, and I'm sorry, heart, but I'm here now and we're together, so it's all good. I just wanted to drop in today. It's technically a story time, but I wanted to tell the story about me having weight loss surgery. It is coming up on my anniversary of my weight loss surgery, so I just wanted to discuss. I know, like, a lot of people, I know for me, when I got ready to do it, it was like a lot of research involved, a whole lot of research involved, a whole lot of YouTube videos, a whole lot of Googling. Just, it's a big decision, it's a big process, it's a big step in your life, because I mean, there are risks involved, and it's a great reward if it works out for you, but there's also a great risk involved. So I know I did a lot of YouTubing and a lot of looking at videos and a lot of following people's story. So I just wanted to share my particular story with my weight loss surgery. I did have the sleeve, or the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, where they actually cut out 75% of your stomach, and you're left with like a little banana shaped stomach where you can only eat smaller portions. It's not like the bypass or the RNY, as they call it, where they actually reroute, I think, your small intestines or something like that. But it's a little less involved, but it is still a major surgery, and it's still a major step in your life, and it's a lot that goes with it. So if anybody's out there that wants to hear about it, considering it, maybe you had it, maybe you just had it, and you just want to hear some different perspectives, you're in the right place today, because I did so much deep diving. I actually did not have mine in the States. I had mine in Mexico, and I am happy with that decision overall, for different reasons that I will go into. But let's just jump into the beginning. So as y'all see me now, I'm always like doing my try-ons and all that kind of stuff. So I'm at about 250-ish, 255 right now. And I have been here for, it's 2021. I have been at this weight since the end of 2019, I believe. So like the first year, I lost most of my weight. I lost over 115 pounds. I was at 361. I think the lowest weight I got down to was 245. But like at the end of 2019 and beginning of 2020, I was going through a whole lot of crazy stuff. So I didn't really gain any weight back, thankfully. It really is good for you. It really is a major change. If you are interested in changing your life, changing the way you eat, it's a very good step, because it's very hard for me to go back to the way I used to eat, even though I was having a lot of up and downs in my life. Like I didn't just start back completely eating the way I did because I couldn't. I still had to eat less. It was like not a choice, but I slacked off on my working out and all that kind of stuff. So my weight loss did not get to the full point, but I'm still very happy. I still have longevity of life. And getting into my why, I was at 361 pounds, and I was having extreme severe back pain. And I have no other ailments. I don't have any kind of high blood pressure, diabetes, or anything like that. I don't have any other ailments. I have been blessed to be healthy, even though I've been overweight my entire life. I've went from an overweight child to an overweight teen to an overweight adult. I've been overweight my entire life. So I don't even know, you know, like some people, they'll be smaller when they're younger, and then when they get old, especially the ladies, you start having babies and things like that, and you start kind of putting on that extra weight. I've never had that experience. I have always been very overweight my entire life. So I guess it should be a wake-up call, but since I did not have any kind of issues, I didn't have any kind of sickness, the thing that just really started bling, bling, bling was the back pain. Like my back pain was so severe, and it was to the point where, like, even though I kind of like wanted to walk and do different things, it was difficult, because I would walk for a little while and I would be like, just like somebody was stabbing me in my back. And I've never had like any kind of accidents or anything like that that would cause me to have back pain. I know it strictly just had to be like the weight, and I'm really glad that I did something about it when I did. I did have the surgery in November of 2018. I went ahead and did it. I started planning for it maybe like a year in advance. Initially I was going to have it in the States. I was living in Louisiana at the time, of course, in South Louisiana, and I was going to have it there at a surgical center in South Louisiana. But when you're going through your insurance, because my insurance for my job at the time, it did cover it, everything was good with that, but you had to go through like 6 months of seeing a doctor. You had to have EGD, which is where they stick a scope down your stomach and make sure like it's nothing wrong in there. You have to have psychological evaluation, but you have to stick with the plan so your insurance can know, that you're making the right steps, which is overall not bad. But something happened and I got about to my 4th appointment and I missed the appointment. And they were like, you're gonna have to start over. And I'm like, me? Are you serious? Like right now, I'm not like going through another 4 months of this just to get where I am and then possibly get a surgery date after that. So I was like, you know what? Let me look at some alternatives, because I could have did it and waited. It probably would have been about equal time after I waited, but I was like, that's okay. I'm just gonna do it and I'm just gonna go to Mexico. So I started searching different places in Mexico here and there, and I had about 5 the top places that were recommended and good reviews. I seen a lot of YouTube videos where people recommended the place they went to. The overall place I ended up choosing was Pompeii Surgical in Tijuana, Mexico. It was really good. I really enjoyed my experience. They had like a Facebook group. They still have a Facebook group where people are very active on there and talking about their experiences and all of that. So it was good, where you could step in, you could kind of see some real life people. And like I said, I seen some YouTube videos of people who had been there specifically and their experience from start to front. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead with this. It's not gonna be covered by insurance, but it's definitely gonna be so much cheaper when you go out of the States for surgery. It's so much cheaper. That's why you hear so much about people going outside the States and getting particular elective surgeries, because it's a lot cheaper, and they do have very good doctors, very good high-ranked doctors. I mean, you hear a lot about, oh, the doctors are foreign and all this kind of craziness. I'm here in the United States, and my PCP in South Louisiana was, I want to say she was from Honduras or something like that. Wonderful lady, just excellent lady. I've had several doctors along my life that were not born in the United States. I mean, people in other countries do have colleges and learn medicine the same way people do it over here, and they are, just as skillful and all that. So I really do hate that mentality of, if it's not in the US, it's not 100%. And I know there are some horror stories. Some people went to like some backwoods garages in another country, but they have people that do that over here too. Right here in the United States, go to some backwoods garage and get some kind of procedure done. So we can't be really biased in that way and just say because someone is not in the United States or a facility is not in the United States, then it's not qualified. We have to do our research. We have to check on the opinions of others. We have to look at the whole picture before we make any decision, because with any surgery you have, wherever you have it at, there are going to be some people who had some bad reactions, some people who had some good reactions, some people who followed the instructions, some people who did not follow the instructions, some doctors who are good, some doctors who are bad. You're gonna have that no matter where you have the surgery at. So like I said, I just did some deep researching to find a place that I wanted to go to, a facility that I was comfortable with, a price line that was very good. I think it ended up being like $5K, I think, but they let you pay it out in installments. So I mean, I needed that change in my life at that time. I could like walk not even a mile and my back would be like dying. So I could not like continue on in the situation that I was in, knowing I didn't have any other reason for having that back pain besides being overweight. It didn't make any sense. But one thing about the surgery, like, it's a very emotional journey. It's a lot to it. It's like I put in my tagline, regrets. You'll have regrets. You may experience regain. Just kind of like sharing some truths with you guys, because there's so many sides to the story. Before you get ready to start the surgery, and you make your decision, you do have to go, most people do have to go on a very restrictive diet before you have the surgery, because they want your liver to shrink, so that when they go in there, they do it laparoscopically, which means they take some little stick-like things with clippers on the end, and they make 4 or 5 holes in your stomach, and they go in there with the sticks. They cut with the end of the sticks, and then they just kind of pull your stomach out. So they don't slice you open for the sleeve at most places. I don't think they do that anymore. It's just they put the 4 little holes inside of your stomach, and then they go in there with the sticks, and they do like the very small tools to go in and cut your stomach out. So it's definitely a lot to it. It is definitely the restrictive diet at the beginning usually gets a lot of us, because especially like if you've been used to eating what you want when you want, and then it's like you can't have basically anything you want. Like you basically like very restricted, little if any meat at all they let you have. You're doing like Gatorade, like maybe some yogurt, even if your diet allows that, broth, protein shakes, and you're just going from like eating everything that you were used to like this little bitty like tiny amount of stuff that you're restricted to, because they want your liver to shrink down, so when they go into your stomach with those sticks, they don't have a hard time getting around your liver. Because then when you are a morbidly obese person, as I was, your liver gets larger as well, and it poses more complications for the doctors to be able to go in there with their tools if your liver is really large. But the good thing about that is restricting your diet will go ahead and shrink that liver in a small amount of time, so they can go in and do the work that they need to do with their tools, and it won't be a major issue. So they put you on the restrictive diet. Most people, I do know some people who have had the surgery who have not really been morbidly obese. You know, maybe they were 70 pounds overweight, you know, maybe they were 80 pounds overweight. I have also heard of people who are not even really overweight. They may have had some gastrointestinal issues that really pose a threat to their life, and some kind of way going in and having the gastric sleeve or the gastric bypass would be able to save their life, because that was the only way that it would be able to be done. So everybody who has the surgery does not just have it for reasons of they're overweight and out of shape and they want to go get a quick fix, because that's what people think all the time. But I've met so many people in different groups online who just, they really had life-threatening gastrointestinal issues, and that option was a solution for them to be able to keep their life and be able to get some balance in their life. So it's a wide variety of things to go on, but like I said, you have the restricted diet at first, so they can go in safely and get around your liver and get to your stomach. And then after that, they do it, most hospitals do it in phases, or surgical centers, they'll do it in phases. The first week out, your first few days, you're gonna be like ice chips. And that's gonna be traumatizing, I promise. Because it's just like ice chips. They may let you have a sugar-free popsicle. They may, if they feeling, you know, nice. They may let you have a sugar-free popsicle. That was one thing that I enjoyed about going to Mexico versus getting it done here. Because at the place I was gonna get it done here, it was a very good place. I know people personally who had been there. Highly rated facility, but I think it was outpatient. You got the surgery and you went home the same day. And like, that's a lot, like, for me to mentally process all that. So with me going to Mexico, I was able to, I think I spent the first night in the hospital. My sister went with me, thank God for her. She wasn't gonna let me go by myself anyway. But I spent the first night in the hospital. Then the second night, they have like a little condo that they put you in. Spent the second night there, and they did have nursing staff there and some of their people there that check in with you. They gave you a cell phone that was local that you could call if you had any kind of problems. Some people at the facility also go to, I think they have a Holiday Inn that they partner with, and it's the same thing. You have some of their nurse staff is kind of, they are readily available, and you also, you know, they give you a phone and everything, so you're able to make contact if anything goes wrong or anything happens. So I think that was a bit more of security for me, even though if I had did it in the States, the place that I was going to was only about 30 minutes down the road, but just still knowing you're there in the hospital after you just had a major surgery is really comforting. So I think that worked out a lot better for me. But you got like ice chips, and the first day or so, then you get like a popsicle the next day. And then after you get home, you get to do mostly clear liquids. You phase from clear liquids to like your broths and, you know, your protein shakes, and then you phase into the pureed food. I think I remember everybody's going crazy about oh God, I can't even think of it right now, but it's almost like a lasagna, but it's no noodles and no meat. It's just like the red sauce and the cheese, and it's just really, really soft and really good. I cannot think of the word for it right now. I'll pop it up on the screen when I remember. But everybody's like always sharing that that recipe in the weight loss group, so you can tell when somebody is like at the beginning part of their surgery, because they need that recipe, because it's like the only like first real taste of food that you get. It's like it makes you feel so close to like lasagna and spaghetti, but you're not that close. So don't get it twisted. But the pureed foods, also I think I found a recipe where it's like it was a way to soft cooked eggs, really soft cooked eggs, I think with like butter and just kind of a light scramble. I think I used that during my puree stage too. Then you go to soft foods, and then maybe after about 3 to 4 weeks you're actually able to eat real food. And you have to be so very careful, because it can just, I remember my first bad experience was hot wings. Lord knows I shouldn't have been eating hot wings. I was like 5 weeks out, and I was like, I'm just gonna taste one, just gonna taste one, it's okay. I tasted one and I puked right in the parking lot at the hot wing place. It was a lemon pepper hot wing, and I don't know, it was just too much for my system. Like I just, as soon as that, like, I guess the fried food hit my stomach, because I had not had anything fried. As soon as that hit my stomach, it was like, ooh. It was downhill from there. So just ease yourself into it. Follow the instructions that your particular surgical center will give you. Make sure you follow them. Every surgeon, they know what they're doing. They've done this with lots of people. I know the facility that I went to, they had lots and lots, thousands and thousands of patients. So they know what they're doing, and everybody's never going to have the exact same experience. However, the closer you stick to the restrictions that they give you, the better your chances for success. So I did try to stick to it as close as I can. I'm gonna put a picture up of, I had my surgery at the end of November in 2018. So that was like Thanksgiving. I didn't really get no food at all. And then Christmas came, and I was just on soft foods the first day of Christmas Day. I was just on soft foods. So I had a little plate, and you're gonna see it up there, with just like little dollops of everything I could that was soft, that I was finna like chew down to almost nothingness. And it's just like so mind-blowing how you go from like eating, how your Thanksgiving plates are, especially like if you're a heavier set person, you used to like eating and you were waiting on the holidays and all of that, and like you're gonna dig in, but it's like your whole situation changes after you have the surgery. That's why I really think it's such a blessing, because it's like, it's a trial mentally, but you physically cannot overeat in the first part of your process. You just physically can't do it. So just going from seeing how your plate may have used to have looked to seeing a small plate with almost nothing on it is just crazy and mind-blowing. But I love it. I'm very glad that I made that decision. It was probably one of the best decisions I have made in my entire life, because it was one of the first steps of me putting myself first. It was one of the first steps of me doing something that I needed to do for myself to get my life to a better spot. And it's nothing wrong if you are, a larger person and you're proud and you're healthy. That's fine. I'm still large now. Like, I have not lost all my weight, I could still lose 100 pounds and still be like almost a normal weighted person. I don't think I want to lose that much, but I could lose that much. So it's like, if you want to be a heavier person and you're healthy, go for it. But I was not happy with who I was. I was having a lot of pain that was directly related to my weight. So I needed to make some changes for me instead of just being unhappy about my situation. And I think that's what it comes down to with every decision that we make. We have to make the changes that are right for us at the time that we need to make them, not based off of anybody else's opinions, anybody else's circumstances, anybody else's situations. You research your life, you see what's going on internally for you and what decisions that you need to make, and then you go ahead and make those decisions to get your life in a better place. So even now, I am not at ideal weight. I think I'm probably on the chart, I'm probably still obese. The chart is a whole nother, you gotta be like 0 pounds to not be obese, but I'm being dramatic. But on the weight chart, it is pretty like drastic. I think that chart is from like the 30s and 40s or something. Like, you have to be pretty small or short or whatever to be in what they consider a normal weight. But I am not considered a normal weight, but I am healthy. I still do not have any kind of comorbidities, no cholesterol, no high blood pressure, no anything. I'm happy with who I am. I definitely would like to get more fit and active, and I need to get my buttocks back in the gym just for, you know, flexibility and liveliness and life. But I'm happy, like I'm thrilled. So don't make decisions, and I've seen a lot of people and just spoken to some people as well who make decisions for other people. And anytime in any area of your life you make decisions for somebody else, it's never going to have the sticking power, and it's never going to have the longevity. And this surgery is a thing that, like I said, it's major. You physically cannot, when you're first starting out, eat what you used to eat, but after so long you can go back. You can like stretch it out. You can start eating a little more. You'll start feeling where you're not as restricted as where previously you only take, you know, 1 bite or 2 bites, and then you'll feel like you're about to regurgitate. You will start feeling where, you know, that 3rd and 4th bite can come on and you're feeling comfortable. So you can go back as time goes on. Your body is going to shift. Your stomach is going to shift. So you have to make sure it's a decision that you're making for you and that you're happy. You can get to a place where you're happy. You can get to a place where you are, you know, loving yourself, accepting yourself, and that you are also making the decisions that are best long-term for your life. That's where these decisions have to come from, because it's a major, major change. As I was stating, it's an emotional journey. A lot of things that people don't know, it's mentally, it messes with you to like go from, you can eat a whole plate of food, whatever you want to, I can eat 3 bites and I'm full. And then like one of my friends, she always picks at me. She's like, I'm not going out to eat with you because you're gonna make me look like a fatty. We're gonna get to the restaurant, you're gonna eat 3 bites and I'm gonna be sitting there diving in. I was like, but it's just like you eat it and you full, and you're really literally full, and that's what accelerates the weight loss for you, and that's what allows you to go ahead and get that rapid results that you need from the surgery. And it's a major tool. And people say that a lot. You know, a lot of people say, oh, it's a quick fix, it's a quick fix. No, it's a tool. You can use it to help you get to where you need to be as a tool, but it is not like it doesn't fix all your problems. Any kind of mental issues that you have, a lot of us who are morbidly obese, a lot of people have trauma tied to the reason that we may overeat. We have trauma tied to the reason maybe we're addicted. I had a sweets problem, like real bad. Like anytime I would get upset, I would go to like McDonald's and get I would get a shake from McDonald's, or like a blast from Sonic, or like something like that. Ice cream and like cake type things. Those were like my comfort foods that I would need when I would get, you know, like upset and just wasn't in a place where I was dealing with my emotions well. And all of these things can be tied in together. It's not just like people like, oh, you know, you're big, you're obese, you're overweight, you know, you're just lazy, you're just fat, you're just this. It's a lot of other things that go into the reasons why people are overweight besides just they like to sit there and eat food all the time. It's so many more mental things. And in the same way that there are mental reasons why some of us get to this place, there are also some mental journey that you go on once you go ahead and get this surgery and you are like not able to operate as you were before. So I always suggest therapy. I started therapy before I had the surgery. I don't know how many months before I had the surgery, but if you're doing it in the United States and you're doing it on insurance, they're probably going to make you see a therapist anyway. But I suggest anyway, regardless of where you're having it or what you're doing, see a therapist, because it's going to be like an emotional journey. And especially for us women, I'm not sure how this works out for men in particular, but I know when we start losing weight, when we start losing weight swiftly, it messes with the hormones. And sometimes you can be like having I'm having an awesome day. Oh my God, yes, everything rocks. And then the next day you're like, why am I depressed? Like, my life is great. Like, I just lost 35 pounds last week. I'm like, why am I depressed? So it's a mental journey, because all of those things going on at the same time. You are mentally not physically unable to eat like you were. Your body's hormones are continuously fluctuating because of the weight that you're losing at such a rapid pace. So there's a lot of things going on. So it's definitely worth it to have a therapist in your corner to walk you through some of these changes, to walk you through body image issues. Even as I told y'all, every time I do one of my try-on videos, I usually talk about my fat on my arms. I've always had larger arms, but when I lost the weight, you know, like I just got this hanging situation going on here. And you will. A lot of people I've met were really scared to have the surgery because they felt like they were going to have excess skin. And a lot of people will. It depends on your age. Usually if you're younger, you can kind of slide out without a lot of excess skin because your body is still has a lot of its elasticity and it's able to transform and shrink back and everything get back in the places that it needs to be in. But if you're older or your body may not have as much elasticity, or depending on your genetics or your ethnicity, all those different things come into effect when it has to do with how your body is going to respond to the weight that you're losing and how it's going to hang and where it's going to hang. So that's a major fear for a lot of people, having the excess skin. But in the end, it's worth it. But if you have a therapist there with you to walk you through those body image issues that will come up during this process, like they're going to come up because it's like you lost all this weight. And then, because I've seen people who've did really great and lost like 200 pounds, 300 pounds. Were really morbidly obese and just got down, and they just did it. They worked out, they were at the gym, they were doing everything. They were like staying on point and lost so much weight. And then they'll get there and then they have like this big pouch of fat. It's like hanging down almost mid-thigh because they've lost so much weight, and your skin just cannot respond that fast usually. Like I said, unless you're younger, and even if you're younger, if you have a whole lot of weight to lose, your body just physically cannot respond that fast and spring that elasticity back in your skin and pull it back to where it needs to be. So that's something that has to be looked at as far as the mental side of the journey, having somebody there with you so you will feel like you're not wanting to give up in the midst of what you're going to see in the mirror, because it's not all peaches and cream. I mean, it feels really great to, lose weight, but then when you have those other things, as I said, especially depending on how much weight you lose, as how your body is going to react and look. So you want to be able to be comfortable with you. You want to be able to have a therapist there with you to help you through the journeys and the trials that you will experience when you're going through this process, because it is a major head trip. I promise you. One of the things that I wish that I always knew was nausea. I dealt with a lot of nausea. Probably somewhere around month 2, I just started, every time I would eat something, I would just get nauseous. No apparent reason. I wasn't eating anything wrong. It was just, I think, the feeling of my stomach healing up and the feeling of having food in there, and I guess just my whole system adjusting. I was nauseous for months every time I ate. It wasn't to the point that I guess I regretted having the surgery. And I mean, if I did regret it, what could I have done about it at that point? But it was worth it. But like I said, there's so many other little things that go into it. If you're thinking every time you put something in your mouth, you're getting nauseous, and that gets overwhelming sometimes. It can definitely get overwhelming. Oh my God. And everybody does not experience that. Like me, I have burping. I burp a lot. I burp a lot. Some people, they have the gas a lot coming out the other side. Some people, they get hiccups a lot. It's all kind of different little things that one person may have that the next person may not, but it's just something that you may not be aware of and prepared for. There's definitely something to put in your mind. You never know how your body is going to personally react. If nothing else, I really wish I would have done it sooner. I want to say 34 or 35. When I had the surgery. I really wish I had done it at 20 something, but I know mentally I was not there. My mind was on other things. Eventually I would have regained the weight. I just know that it was not the time. I did it when I was supposed to do it, but if I could have had myself mentally and emotionally ready earlier, and if you have yourself mentally and emotionally ready now to do it, and you have some help, a support system, a therapist, whatever, go ahead and jump in and do it, because it is life-changing and it's definitely going to take you a lot farther. It takes your confidence all the way through the roof. I don't know, just the fact of that you're losing the weight, you feel progress in your life. Like I said, after I had back pain, that was one of my major issues, but after I lost the first 30 pounds. Just think about this, just 30 pounds. My back pain went away. It was gone. Gone completely. So it's just there are so many different facets to it. And that's a major confidence booster when I went from not being able to just walk, maybe even a mile without pain, or going up a flight and a half of steps and just having really serious pain, to not having that. There's so many things, it's going to just shoot you up, like as far as that confidence goes. If you have that support system, like I said, I having a therapist there to walk with me through some of the body image issues and all of that stuff, you're gonna feel better. You're gonna start holding your head higher. You're gonna start, just really operating from more self-confidence, because you know that you're making the steps that you need to make in your life. You're doing what's best for you. You made a major decision for yourself. Nobody else had to lay down on the table and get cut with you, okay? You made a major decision for yourself to go ahead and do something that was going to change your life from here going forward. So that's like a major confidence boost. You do see a difference. You're going to get a lot of comments. You're going to get a lot of positivity, with people telling you look so good, you look so much better, all of that. And, take it with a grain of salt. Some people get mad and say, oh, you're saying I was ugly before. Well, what if they are saying you was ugly before? That's their opinion. Who cares? I look good now. I know I was not like an ugly person before. I was pretty heavy, but I was not ugly at all before. So you have to let people, sometimes people are just, as they say, they will show their cards, but just take it with a grain of salt. Oh well, yes, I do look better. Yes, I am carrying myself better. Yes, I do have more confidence now. And a lot of times people will respond more to your confidence, because like I said, I haven't said, maybe I did, but a lot of times I would shrink. I would hold my head down. I would walk with my head down. I would try to be unseen. I would, try to hide. I would just do all those kind of things. People see you, they see you, they just take that as, oh, you're shy, you're withdrawn, or you have low self-esteem. They take it as those things, they see you. So when you go through these changes and you make these steps that you need to make for your own life, your confidence goes up. You kind of want to be seen then. I don't mind being seen now. I don't mind being seen now. So like I said, it does something excellent for your confidence. It does something excellent for you overall. You have to be mindful. You will have stalls along the way. You feel like, oh my God, I just had this surgery, went through all these steps, paid all this money, and I'm not losing any weight. So many people start complaining like the first week or so after surgery, I'm not losing weight. I gained weight. What happened? But you have to think about this. After you have the surgery, it's a major change in your body. So you may gain some weight the first week or two, because your body is adjusting to the trauma of it just being literally like cut open and sliced apart and having half of your stomach ripped out. So your stomach has to heal, the incisions have to heal. Your body is really going through a lot after the surgery. So a lot of people do gain a few pounds right after surgery, and then the loss starts. Also month 1 and month 2 of the surgery. I had my first month, like I said, the end of November to the end of December. And from the end of December to my birthday, which is at the end of January, I did not lose 1 pound. I wasn't eating anything wrong, because I couldn't. I still physically could not eat anything wrong. I physically still could not eat too much. I really could not. I told y'all the story about the chicken wing that I tried to have. I could not eat, but it's just something your body will hold on to that weight. Your body's like, wait, no, we're starving to death. Hold on, wait. And your body will like shut down. So you will have those stalls along the way. If you'll be losing weight good and you'll see yourself moving along, and all of a sudden it's like a plateau, and you're not losing any weight, and you feel like, I'm doing all the steps, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. They also always say the first thing to do is check to make sure you're getting enough protein. Check to make sure you have not slacked off on your protein, because that's a major thing. I've noticed even now with me kind of like trying to get tighter with my eating and trying to get more active. When I increase my protein, I just like immediately lost a few pounds. So keeping the protein where it should be is a major thing. But if you're doing everything that you know you're supposed to do, and you're in the early parts of your surgery, just don't get upset. Don't get upset. Don't let it make you give up. Don't let it make you get discouraged. It's just a part of the situation. The stalls are a part of this journey, going on the sleep journey. Also, they have something that they call the whoosh effect. That word is so funny to me. Whoosh. But what it is, they say, this is not clinically proven. I think they've done studies on animals, but they have not done human studies yet. But they think that when we are losing fat, our fat cells, which were once filled with fat, begin to fill up with water instead, because the fat is going away and the water is taking the place of what the fat was. So it just stays there in this fat cell, but it's full of water. And then all of a sudden your body's like, oh, I got a lot of excess water. Whoosh. And then you lose weight. And that's when that, like you said, the plateau effect, you were here and you were just kind of like stuck on the edge and then start going down. So like I said, that's not clinically proven, but just from everything I've read about it, it makes sense. And they have done some animal trials that kind of validate it, but never really any human studies. But just know that there may be stalls along the way. And if you know when you're doing everything you need to do right, just keep doing it. That's like, again, that mental journey, that mental trick, that mental upside down. Just keep doing it. Stay in there. I can say overall, like, no back pain. That was like, thank you, God. Like, I was just going through it so much with the back pain. And it was so demotivating because you know you need to lose weight to get rid of the back pain, but you can't really move a lot because you're having back pain every time you move. So it was really crazy. But like I said, I had it at the end of 2018. I went throughout 2019. I lost about 115 pounds. End of 2019, I just started going through a lot of stuff and working out and all that was at the back burner. So thankfully I have not gained much weight at all. Like, I think at the most I had gained 17 pounds at one point, and that was like early part of this year when I weighed myself, I think. But I'm back like down to like 250, 255. So I'm like 10 pounds from my lowest weight. So it is what it is. It does what it does. It's a tool. It's not a fix-all. You have to put the efforts in yourself. You have to be consistent, and it will definitely take you there. I know if I had not have kind of slacked off what I did, and you know, we all use the pandemic for every kind of excuse. So I'm gonna use the pandemic too. The pandemic came. Yes, it did. You know, the pandemic came and I was in the house eating pandemic snacks. You know, I was eating the quarantine snacks. You know, I was not getting out doing enough working out and all that kind of stuff. But even now, I still have a lot of restriction when I eat. I could still only eat a few bites or, you know, maybe a cup of something. And then I have to put my food up and then I have to come back to it later. So it still works. It still does what it does. When I put the work in, it's still going to do what it does. My stomach is still going to do what it's supposed to do. So it is not like a lost cause. If it's a decision that you're considering making, go ahead and make it and stick with it. Don't let anything stop you along your way. If you can, just push through. If you have had the surgery and you like me, you kind of like slacked off a little bit, it's still going to do what it does. It's still going to do what it do. It's still going to do what it do. Your stomach, your body is still going to do what it does. So just get back on the path. Just get back on the path, get back on the steps. They have something that they call pouch reset, and you just kind of go through the initial steps that you go through, like from the clear liquids to the broth to the puree food to the soft food. Instead of going through like a whole 4 weeks of it like you do right after you have the surgery, I think you go through it in about 10 days. You kind of cycle through it. So just Google that, pouch reset. I'm sure you'll be able to find some on here. I'm thinking about doing one myself and just kind of like remotivating myself so I can, you know, it's like kind of start that journey. I do want to lose some more weight, but I'm not interested in losing a whole gang of weight because I like my curviness. So there's that. But I want to stay healthy. I am healthy. I'm so thankful that I am healthy. I'm so thankful for that decision I've made, along with every other decision that I've made to put myself first. And at the end of it all, that's what it comes down to. What are we doing to place ourselves first? That's the most important thing, because when you are placing yourself first, it may seem selfish, but how can I help anybody else? How can I be of service to my family? How can I be of service to my friends? How can I be of service on my job? If I am at my lowest point, if my cup is empty, if, you know, I'm having back pain and I can't hardly, my old job, I work upstairs. I had to go upstairs to get to my office. Like, and I'm just like dragging up the stairs, you know, like how can I be efficient? How can we be our best for everybody else if we're not doing the things that we need to do to make sure that we're at our best self. So self-care is never selfish in my book, and it will never be selfish in my book. And this is a major step for self-care. If this is something that you feel you need to do, if you know anybody who's had it or you've had some experiences, drop it in the comments below. I would love to hear your experience. If you have any questions about my experience, drop it in the comment below. If you feel like, if you've had the surgery maybe and you want to do pouch reset with me, drop it in the comments below. Let's connect. I'm on Instagram at Amanda's Lost Thoughts and Facebook as well at Amanda's Lost Thoughts. Check me out. Come join me on this page and this channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with someone you know who may be thinking about having the gastric sleeve, even on the gastric bypass. A lot of the kind of the tips will be similar, but I just know the gastric bypass is a little more invasive, and the restrictions regarding what they can and cannot eat are different. So I did not go into detail on that. I may do another video where I go into detail on how the diet was before the surgery, how the diet was after the surgery, specifics of my weight loss as far as, how much I lost each month and all those different things, because I got a lot of pictures and a lot of data. So if you're interested in that, let me know below. But y'all follow me. I will definitely be back with another video next week. I'm sorry I took a little 2-week break on y'all, but I had to go do some things, and now I'm back and we are here together as a family. So I love you guys. I thank you so much for tuning in. As always, thank you so much for watching this channel. I appreciate all the support, all the love, all the feedback that I've been getting. It's definitely appreciated, and I hope you're having a good night, evening, day, wherever you are in the world. And bye-bye.